there was a massive and full rally at Madison Square Garden with nothing but bridge and tunnel chuds who also sexually harass you at 1 o'clock when you're leaving the club. Sorry, but that's true. And like finance bros. No, maybe not. But anyway, there was a MAGA rally at Madison Square Garden. And it was not a Nazi rally, John Marco. I think a lot of people have been drawing these like parallels between the America First rally in 1939. Remember, this was like, we don't want to, get involved in like helping save the Jews abroad. Fuck that. Like, America First. In fact, maybe Jews are the problem. All that. There was a lot of like anti-Semitism. That's not a Nazi rally. And just take it from one of the speakers who said it was a Nazi rally.
Listen to me from Jerusalem. They really do this. Like all of you, listen to me, all of you. I get back and they go, Sid, you want to speak at this MSG thing? I go, sure. Out of character for me to speak at a Nazi rally. I was just in Israel, but I took the gig.
Okay. So this guy just came back from Jerusalem, Israel. And he's like, I guess it's kind of weird to go right from Israel to a Trump or a Nazi rally, but I took the gig. There's so much to say about that. First of all, it's actually sadly not that weird that you would go from a gig in Israel to a MAGA rally. In fact,
not at all.
Many Zionist Trump supporters, Trump and Bibi are best friends. That guy's name is Sid Rosenberg. But what did you think? He was like, he called it a Nazi rally to their faces.
Well, sure. And you can see from the audience reaction, there's this degree of like, trying irony or trying anything. The people in that room, listen, of course, there's a lot of Zionist folks there, but there's also a lot of people who just wanted to get drunk and cheer and don't even know what the fuck is going on with any of this. And they hear the word Nazi and they go, but that's what the bad guys call us sometimes. Like, they don't even know what's going on. That whole thing was just a mess. It's too many people because those Trump folks, some of them wouldn't even know Israel. They wouldn't even know Netanyahu. And then you got someone else. That's why nothing really works at this setting other than, just chanting America.
Yeah. No, there was a lot of missed jokes here. Also jokes that were not missed, but were terrible.
Sure.
And I want to talk about those in a little bit, but I just did want to give you a smattering of other speakers, like Mr. Former Mayor, America's Mayor, America First Mayor, Rudy Giuliani, speaking about the Palestinians, speaking of Israel.
Hamas is not there for us. Iran is not there for us. They want to kill us. And the Palestinians are taught to kill us at 2 years old. They won't let a Palestinian in Jordan. They won't let a Palestinian in Egypt.
So there he is. The Palestinians are taught to kill us at 2 years old. Now, my 2-year-old is trying to kill me. So, like, this is sort of, I mean, she's not really, but she is, with the crocodile tears and all that.
Sure.
But, it's funny as hell. But it's mostly just makes me so angry at, like, people, MAGA folks who watch that are like, oh, okay, I must kill Palestinians before they can kill me. And that actually happened outside of Chicago when a 6-year-old was stabbed by his fucking neighbor who was like, well, we've been friends, but he's Palestinian, and so I'm going to stab him and kill him.
Here's my thoughts. I think, 2 years old, we're very close to right before being born. If we can get Giuliani to go a little further back and say they're being trained while they're in the womb, boom, now we got a real conflict of interest between the pro-lifers. We gotta destroy these guys from the inside, so to speak. So 2 years old, we're very close to unborn.
Right.
And it's like they the closer they get, there's gonna be an issue.
Well, oh God, not to make it so grim, but it's not an issue for Zionists in Israel, in Gaza right now, because pregnant women are being killed. In fact, deliberately targeted.
It's why, again, you can see the people behind him, even in that video. I would imagine that a majority of people in that stadium would not be able to tell you what Hamas is, period. I really, so they really just get to shovel in whatever fucking thing he wants to promote, and they're just there. They're just waiting for Trump to speak.
They're waiting for who honestly, I don't even have a clip from Trump because his speech was so not noteworthy. But here's Tucker Carlson on Kamala Harris, just as a more smattering of insanity.
It's going to be pretty hard to look at us and say, you know what? Kamala Harris, she got 85 million votes because she's just so impressive. As the first Samoan, Malaysian, low IQ, former California prosecutor ever to be elected president, it was just a groundswell of popular support. And anyone who thinks otherwise is just a freak or a criminal.
We're not freaks. We're super normal. So again, she's the Samoan Malaysian. I don't understand what happens when two people of not the same race make a baby.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
It's it's when these people get in a room where everyone agrees with them, you just see like you see a lot of things just come out of them that they feel safe in that space.
So safe in the biggest room possible, being like, we're all in agreement that we can make fun of her race.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's some people there that are not white going, oh, what the fuck is going on here? It's being said to my face right now.
Okay, there's, first of all, this is the last time I let you give any of these people credit.
Sure.
Last time you're like, I'm sure some people, but I think you're right because, I mean, I disagree, but I agree with you that, yeah, not everyone signed up for this level of racism. And especially they didn't sign up for a set from one Mr. Tony Hinchcliffe, a comedian, sort of, again, of the Joe Rogan extended universe, a roast comic. Maybe you have your stories about him, but here are two of his comments among things like saying that, Hispanics don't pull out. They come inside like they come inside our country, and other sort of tasteless jokes. Here were a couple others.
A lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there.
I just put out a video just talking about just this set because I found it so. I think what's so hard is it's also bad. Like sometimes these conversations become about how it's offensive or inappropriate, and I go, it's actually bad because they're not even trying to say anything. He's just trying to just like a pander. It's like the worst kind of pandering to the worst kind of people for the worst possible candidate, and that's why it's not. It didn't even work with the room because it felt so random.
The room.
Because there's
you heard the groans.
Thoughts. There's no thought put into it. I don't think he even believes a single fucking thing he said. He just goes, "This is what these people will like."
So that was what's interesting is like it didn't work you hear the groans, which hasn't been the line from MAGA in defense of him. Like I think the line, they have not distanced themselves really from him. The line's been like, well, he was joking. It was a joke. Can't you take a joke? Instead of, some people like Rick Scott, who is running again for Senate in, to represent Florida and is like, shit, I need all these voters, have been like, this is not us and whatever. But if you're MAGA, you should be like, see, hear the groans. There are some good people in there, as John Marco Cerezi said. They're not all on board. You heard them groan. And but the idea that he thought it would work, that this was a vetted joke that was then presented to them on this platter, is just incredible to me. A lot of people are saying he's costing them the election. Obviously,
amazing. It would be the first funny thing Tony Hinchcliffe has ever done is to cost him the election for a hacky, just bad.
Joke.
Simple. The joke is that's trash. That's what we're operating with. And out of nowhere, no point of view. Honestly, I thought his joke about Israel and Palestine, it's one of those things where you go like, do you have any actual opinion on this? Or did you just come with a joke to say, Palestinians throw rocks and Jews, they don't like to let go of paper. And I'm like, that's all this is that there is a huge contingency of, and this is crossover with Kill Tony fans and Joe Rogan fans, of kind of angry, younger, isolated white guys that just they're mad. They're mad. They feel lonely. They feel sad. And the thing that kind of makes them feel a little better for a moment is to go, I'm going to be offensive. I'm just going to be mean. And I don't think they're drawn to Trump for his foreign policy views. I don't think they think about foreign policy. They just like to go, I said the thing. I said the thing, and it makes my parents mad. It hurts.
Yeah, they're just like a Holocaust denying meme lord come to life. And I was saying this, I've been saying this, like, this is it is a phenomenon in comedy, this like anti-woke in quotation marks, movement, later we're going to look at JD Vance is doing like Tim Dillon's podcast. And there's a lot of these guys. But here's my question. And I know, John Marco, as a theater kid, maybe you're not the I don't know. I'm just,
where's this going?
Well, this is going in what is an alternative vision of masculinity that that young men, young white men can look up to. And is it you, 6'6" theater guy who is very funny? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why do this? Like, what's the draw for a comic to do this? And also, what's the draw to just I can also answer this question, but there's no real question here. It's more just like, John Marco, can you lead the anti-Tony Hinchcliffe young men to the future?
I think I can answer to a degree where listen, as someone who grew up on South Park, and I know when you're younger, there is a part of you that wants your comedy to have teeth. And I do think what happened on kind of the more liberal side, but not leftists, because I think leftists like Hassan Piker, you have plenty of leftists who have teeth and are funny and are inappropriate in a way that I do think appeals to. And you, of course, the Bitchuation room. Yeah, I know.
Here, you, us, we,
us, and I think what happened is they're you got to find those people who still have those teeth and still can make an edgy joke. And I think there was a time we were readjusting as a society where I do think we lost, there just became sanitized comedy. And I think people get tired of the way that liberal views are presented sometimes, especially by the mainstream media and Democrats. The DNC. The DNC is not going to produce great comedy. You can't rely on a political party to present real entertainment.
I don't know. DL Hughley had a pretty good set at the DNC. He said, if 15-year-old me found out I was voting for a cop, they'd be freaking out. It was a great line. I don't know if it did that well, but it was very funny. But you're right. No, it is a backlash to, I think, the broader culture that says hey, we shouldn't, hate isn't funny. And the real test and the proof, and the reason I love Tony Hinchcliffe eating so much shit here is the proof is in the room. With any joke, the proof is in the room. Is it working in the room? If it's working, if you're getting the laughs, then it worked. It was offensive. It was whatever. But hey, that's where the culture is at, And this is the friendliest audience you could possibly have, I assume.
Well,
for this
apparently, he was running the set at a club here in New York, and it wasn't doing well there, and he kept saying, this will kill at the rally tomorrow.
And it didn't.
It didn't. It was
And so that's the thing. It's maybe you're right. There are some, not all of them are racist, and they sure as shit didn't sign up for those kinds of jokes. And then here's another one, and we'll be done with this. But this was just he was riffing on this one.
All right, heck yeah, it's a cool black guy with a thing on his head. What the hell is that? A lampshade? Look at this guy. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm just kidding. That's one of my buddies. He had a Halloween party last night. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome.
Roast battles, listen, I like roasts. roast they sometimes emerge in a kind of a liberal space where you go, listen, I'm not justifying every roast joke in the world, but it's because you go, we all think better thoughts. He said a really offensive thing that goes against all our thoughts. That's but when you do it in a room that's filled with racists, it's not a joke anymore. It is just a stoking and an agreement of people there. It's not funny because it's not surprising, because it's not subversive. You can't be subversive if everyone agrees with the joke that you're making.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And he, he's claimed that he's gone after everybody, but he really didn't. And he only reserved this for, again, people of color. But hey, the hot Puerto Rican celebrity caucus really activated. J-Lo, Bad Bunny, Ricky Martin, everyone's like, ring! Everyone's just like, we are activated. Fuck you. It was Mark Anthony even had like a video with his glasses on, looking so hot. It's like, damn, that guy is just so much riz, as the kids say. He is just undeniable. But anyway, it to me, and the last thing I'm gonna say is, like, it's all fine and good unless you're opening for a guy like this.
The cartels are gone. The criminal migrants are gone. The gangs are gone. America is for Americans and Americans only. One man. And that man, ladies and gentlemen, that man took a bullet for you. He took a bullet for democracy. And the cartel.
Well, it wasn't really a full bullet, but it's a stupid joke until you realize he's just like, he's an opening act for like Goebbels. You know what I mean? Like, he's an opening act for this psychotic Nazi to be like, we're gonna round everybody up. All the cartels are gone, the illegals are gone, everyone's gone, except for me and all of my, mommy issues. So,
and he didn't take a bullet for anything. It was just a guy. It was just a guy. Again, Stephen Miller, it's like, it's so unappealing. He got so mad on Twitter because someone rightfully or just quoted, someone in Nazi Germany saying German is for Germans only. And he was like, how dare you make this comparison? It's like, well, it's the same. It's the same. It's just the lines next to each other.
It's like,
what do you want to do? Going back to the Giuliani clip, it's like, for all the things that Tony Hinchcliffe said and blah, 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 and talking about it, it's like what he said about 2-year-olds. It's just like, again, it becomes like detached from the literal fucking horrible images and videos you see of children that have been killed by Israel. And instead you just speak it, and you like make people conjure this version of a 2-year-old child who goes, I hate Jews. And it's like, that's the fact that is not treated as an, that's worse than the Puerto Rico joke that Tony Hinchcliffe said, because you're literally trying to conjure up an image that allows people to kill children.
Yep.
And that gets put off to the side and kind of ignored and not really buzzworthy. But that's the most vile thing I think that was said on
absolutely. Stage. Absolutely. Giuliani is not like, what's funny, I think what you're basically saying is like, at least Hinchcliffe can be like, it was a joke. It was a bad joke, but it was a joke. Like, Tucker Carlson, Rudy Giuliani is not joking. Like, Trump's not joking. Stephen Miller's not joking. There's no joke in that. Like, this is, you can get mad at the court jester for being insensitive, but like, at the end of the day, he's not the one calling the shots and doing the policies that are, rounding people up. So yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know, John Marco, I do think we might, if this isn't going to lose Donald Trump the election, just on the Hinchcliffe stuff, I do hope it begins to sort of set the sun on the edgelord white, grievance politics comic a little bit. Like, I believe in being like funny and edgy and saying stupid stuff. Obviously, I think it's very critical to comedy, but like making that your whole thing and your whole brand, is just so basic and
And then
boring.
it has a ceiling in terms of what it can accomplish comedically. Like, sure, you want to go do it in your fucking your underground bar show, but
Yeah.
but what happens is that what these comedians want deep down, they want to be taken seriously despite all their comedic pretenses. This is a person who then wants to speak at the rally. And I go like, look, if you want to take a shit at the dinner table and have your boys joke about, hey, look, I took a shit over there. Fine. You think you get to like then we're all going to celebrate it. We're all going to dance. We're all going to applaud you for your artistry. No, there is a ceiling to what this is for.
Right.
Who this entertains.
I think that's a really good point. And I also think that there's a ceiling for how many voters this can reach.
Yes.
It is part and parcel of the fact that Trump is not trying to reach women, people of color, anybody else other than like angry little boys, and they are not being forced birthed fast enough to be able to get, to voting age to vote for them,
Yeah.
like they're just not enough Rogan fans who can vote, you know what I mean? Like give them time, I guess, but like,
Sure.
like it's just, I mean, and we will see, we will see. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/bitchuation room. Do it.